Welcome to another LiveWire Sports Media, another Indiana forecast. All right, guys, what you're watching right there is a significant evidence this lady needs to go. I can only say it as plain as possible because this video, I'm trying not to be long, but it might end up getting long because I got a lot of stuff to say off my chest. We have watched the painful basketball play of the Indiana Fever. And for the most part of it, we watched it for the first 9 games of the season. Slowly, it started getting better because, well, Timmy Fan Bailey was out. She was hurt, so they had to gel together. But they didn't use a lot of depth on the bench. They didn't use Celeste Taylor, who they eventually waived. But this coach right here continues to make excuses. The Fever has won, 6, 7 games so far? They lost 12 already. Let me see. Yeah, they 7-12. They played 19 games already. 19 games. Almost 20 games on Sunday. That'd be halfway through. And they still don't have no continuity. They still don't have no identity. They still playing like, all of them playing like rookies. The only person that should have an excuse playing like a rookie should be Caitlin Clark. Alyiah Boston, she's in her 2nd year. So her rookie stage is over. She should have more idea of how to play. But again, this coach doesn't know what the hell she's doing. Because countless times over and over again, she continues to show that she says one thing and does another. She contradicts herself. She tells the media one thing. After the game is over, she says a whole total different thing. It's like she's learning on the fly. You've been there last year. There is no way in God's green earth that you drafted a #1 pick last year. Then knowing that you have a highly decorated #1 pick of the women's all-time leading scorer in NCAA and men's NCAA basketball coming to the league. #1 pick, first of overall. And you sit here to tell me that you cannot draw plays. You cannot figure out how to get this girl wide open. Well, you know what? The first thing is that you tell your selfishness players like our Erica Wheeler, Kelsey Mitchell, and Christie Sides, pass the damn ball. If you don't have it, kick it back out. There's never a time that I have watched basketball, even some of the greats, that they would dribble the ball. Just dribble to look for their own shot. And you have your forwards and your centers sitting there. Some of them pretty opened on the baseline, and you don't pass to them. That practice video clip, was everything that we needed to see yesterday, because that shit led into the game. Period. It led into the game. It was embarrassing to see. Now, to be fair and honest, Caitlin was the #1 pick. If that was the case, they should have drafted Cameron Brink 2nd. Hell, they should have drafted Angel Reese 2nd. I mean, 1st overall. They should have drafted Cameron Brink 1st overall. Hell, Camila Cardozo or Rika Jackson. Or Alyiah Edwards, if that's the case. Hell, the Sparks could have drafted Caitlin Clark. Hell, if the Sparks had drafted Caitlin Clark, they probably would have been a little bit better scoring wise. She probably would have had a lot of more rings scoring. Hell, even after Caitlin didn't went number 1, she went number 3 to the Chicago Sky. Guess what? The Chicago Sky has playmakers on the team. Hell, she could have easily got her shot off. Hell, even the Dallas Mavericks, her playing with her Enrique over there would have worked. The Washington Mystics would have worked. She would have had a better play than anything. The Dallas Mavericks had 2 picks in the draft. Hell, the Sparks had 2 picks in the draft in the top 10. So I'm saying this to say that Caitlin could have been, I think 3 teams if she got drafted to, she would have been, her success level would have been better. But the FIBA organization don't know how to run an organization. To me, I feel like the owner needs to step in. I said this, and I'm going to say it again. I believe Sides, they go and let Sides go after the break. After the All-Star, once the All-Star break gets here, I think they're going to make a change. They're going to make a coaching change because they're going to be, the break is at, the All-Star break is what, on the 20th? It's on the 18th. They're going to break. They'll be going for a whole month. So by that time, the Indiana Fever are beat and played. They got one more game in this month of June. Most likely, Angel Reese will win rookie of the month for June, unless Caitlin has another game, a great game Sunday, whatever the case will be. They got 6 games in July before break. So Sunday will be the 20th game. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 games in out of 40. So that means you'll have 14 games left when you come back. You'll have 14 games after the break when you come back. So if I got that correctly. Yeah. You have 14 games. You have 6 games in August, and you have 8 games in September. So you're going to have 14 games when you come back after the All-Star and the Olympic break. From that point on, I will make a coaching change. I will make a coaching change instantly. I will fire her and just allow somebody else to come in, just coach the team until you find a new head coach in the offseason. I won't even waste no time letting her finish out the damn season because it's not worth it. And I will be looking for a new GM as well, because it goes to show you that this organization with Lynn Dunn as the general manager don't know what the hell she's doing. I don't even know how the hell she was a coach back in 2001 with the Seattle Storm. I don't even understand it. Hell, I will be advocate for Sue Bird to come out and coach this team. You know why? Because I feel like Sue Bird will maximize Caitlin's skills. Now, some people say, well, Sue Bird is part of that, the L community. I think Sue Bird is one of the best. I think she could get a lot out of Caitlin. I think she could get her teams to buy in. But who knows? There's a lot of coaching candidates out there that will be good for this job. And like I said, with the removal going into next season with Erica Wheeler is a free agent, Kelsey Mitchell is a free agent. I think Christy Wallace probably will get cut. She, get her off the team. And then I think Timmy Fan Bailey is going out. You're going to lose 4 players. You're going to have to sign free agents to come in to contribute and be able to provide, be able to be competitive. As much as Kelsey Mitchell has gained, she doesn't fit what Caitlin Clark. She doesn't fit. I don't care what her numbers show, the 4 games that they're winning. She doesn't fit. She doesn't fit what Caitlin is. Caitlin is the system. You have to build around the system. You can't make her fit into a system. You know what I'm saying? So, hell, Alyiah Boston probably might ask for a trade in all season. Who knows what she might ask for? You know what I'm saying? I will build a whole complete team around Caitlin Clark. Bring people in that wants to play with Caitlin Clark, not people that trying to look out for their own thing. And get a coach that's competent. This coach is not competent. She's clearly showed you that she don't know the F she's doing. And I'm gonna let y'all listen to her press conference, and I'm gonna come back and chime in, and then I'm gonna go over some other detailed stuff.
Postgame, Caitlin says something about I need to do a better job hunting my shot. Do you want her to shoot more? Do you feel like she's not taking enough shots?
Yeah, Caitlin Clark needs to shoot at minimum 15 shots a game for us. I mean, she's got to get shots. We've got to do a better job of setting her up and setting some really good screens for her to get her open. The way people guard her, it's tough because she's getting redded. So once the ball's out of her hands, she's setting the rest of our team up for some really great looks. But when we're not able to finish those, we've got to make sure we're going back and trying to get her back to that ball, getting that ball back in her hands at times.
Do you want her to be able to be setting screens for her to come up instead of just ball screens? Like for her to just come up, shoot, catch? Like she didn't do that a lot in college. She always had the ball in her hands.
Yeah, I mean, the way teams play her, I mean, if she gets a ball screen, they're just going to do everything to take it out of her hands. They're going to red her. I mean, that's what she's getting every time. She's getting some pretty good looks when she's off the ball, but we like her on the ball, so we just got to figure out how to manage the two.
You hear that? She literally said that she wants Caitlin to shoot 15 times. Caitlin should be shooting 18 to 20 times. She should be her volume of shooting should be on the par of Drew Lloyd and Arike Olunke over there in Dallas. That's how volume shooting should be that. Her volume shooting should be just as well as what she shot in college. Her volume of shooting should not be fucking 10 shots, 9 shots. And then she said, well, her teammates got to do better creating shot for her. Well, guess what? That starts with a pick and roll. You cannot allow a pick to be suffocated. You cannot allow Chloe Peterson on Twitter, she put out this. Turnovers was the biggest thing in this game. Turnovers was the biggest thing. And I said it. You out-rebounded them. You out-shot them. You had 21 assists. You shot 45% from the field. Your statistic output was way better than the Storm. But guess what was the key factor? 3 things in basketball will cause you to lose games: rebounding, foul shooting, and turnovers. Just like in football, what they say, if you turn the ball over X amount of times, it's hard to win a game. If a quarterback throws 5 interceptions in a game, you ain't winning that game. You ain't winning that game because guess what? Your defense is on the field, and they're going to continually to get tired. 22 turnovers led to 27 points. Guess what? You take that 27 points away, cut it in half to 10, you win the game. You win the game. So, regardless of Drew Lloyd's 34 points, regardless of Drew Lloyd's 34 points, if you take 10 points away That's 79. If you take half of that, 27 points away, that's 14 points. You win the game. But guess what? This lady right here don't know how to coach. She doesn't know how to coach. She doesn't know how to execute. She doesn't know how to execute. You have a person that lead the college in scoring, and you telling her in the beginning of the season she had a 5-second rule to shoot, and her teammates are Christy Wallace and Erica Wheeler. And somebody tried to convince me last night, saying that on Twitter, talking about, Erica Wheeler is carrying the fever. So the 15 points, the 7 assists that led to buckets, 7 times 2, 14 points. So Caitlin's 7 points led to 14 points. Her 15, that's what, 20, almost what? Like 30-something points. And everybody else. And so she pretty much carried the team herself with her assists and scoring. Let's not go there. So I found something very, 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 very important that I read, that I got off on X today, and I'm gonna read it. It's by Brian Hampton. He said, "Coaching is such a challenging career. It is easy to judge, especially from outsiders. Viewers don't know what they don't know. They aren't in the trenches, and they don't see what the staff sees day in and day out." Which, to me, right then and there, that just shows me that you're making excuses for a coach that's incompetent. I don't think Christie Sides is intentionally trying to sabotage the team. I call bullshit on that, because she don't know what the hell she's doing. That is ridiculous to think otherwise. With that said, from my perspective, there is so much that this team needs from Coach Sides and her staff, and they aren't being provided. Now, we about to get into details, what he's talking about. Offensive scheme. Let's talk about a high pick and roll. It's most effective when teams aren't hard hedging and doubling Caitlin Clark. However, when they do double, which is most often and frequently, she has consistently made the right read, hitting AB at the free throw line. Great. But guess what? Last night when AB got hit, she got stuck. She didn't have no moves to make. She had a floater right there. She could easy shot. Then when she had easy shots, she missed it. What is the action off that? AB hasn't shown comfort in taking the mid-range shot. Again, I just pointed that out. So how do they take advantage of a 4v3 to come from that? The answer is they don't have anything put in place. Hitting AB relieves the pressure from Clark, and that's all. There is no secondary action off of that. That is a giant hole in a scheme. And this is where I said you need to have a 3-point specialist out on there. If Clark is getting blitzed and she hits off that high pick and roll and AB gets in there and she's not comfortable, allow AB to kick it out to somebody that can shoot a 3. You know what I'm saying? Don't kick it to Kelsey Mitchell, who's going to just drive right back into traffic all the way around and try to get a quick shot, throw up some bullshit over the backboard. This is where Dantas comes into play. This is where Katie Lou comes into play. This is where Kelsey, Lexi Hall comes into play. If AB is not comfortable taking that floater, they allow her to kick that ball back out to the 3-point line. Dantas could shoot a 3. I wanted to see her come into the game at some point in time to get some kind of rhythm, to get some kind of continuity with Caitlin Clark. Because Nalissa Smith, yes, she takes threes, but she needs to hit her shots under the basket, and she's capable of doing that. If AB gets stuck, there needs to be somebody out, because when the defense collapses on her, there need to be somebody on the 3-point line that's going to be effective. And I'm telling you, I have watched a lot of film of Damaris Dantas play to know that she fits perfectly in that high pick and roll action, because she is another weapon that could constantly hit threes from the outside. And if she hitting threes from the outside and Boston gets the ball down low after Caitlin pins on it, guess what's going to happen? Defense is not going to collapse on Boston. That's going to create 2 more shot opportunities. You know why? Because now they're going to roll out to Dantas on the 3-point line. Then Caitlin's man is going to collapse on Boston, and she can kick it back to Caitlin. Caitlin can have an easy shot, or Boston could hit an easy layup in the paint, or Boston could kick it out to a third wing out there for like Alexi Hall for a 3, or Katie Lou Samuelson out for a 3. There's so many opportunities in that pick and roll. I said last night, if Dantas had played last night, she would have been able to pull defenses away from Caitlin a little bit more because of her scoring threat from the outside. She's a true scoring threat and a great mid-range shot. And guess what? If Boston is not comfortable making that shot, guess what? Use Dantas in the pick and roll, because she's good in the pick and roll action. You can have Timmy. You can either put Boston on the bench and sub out with Tammy Finbenley and let Tammy Finbenley run under the basket and read for rebounds, or use Boston for rebound purposes on the low for a post move, and allow Dantas and Clark to run a high pick and roll where Dantas can roll out, and she can find AB over there, because she is a great passer in that set. She is a great mid-range shooter. This is something, it don't take a damn rocket scientist to figure out this shit. The thing about it is that Christie Sides don't know what the hell she's doing. Secondly, the guy continues to talk. He said defense, hoping that Timmy and Damaris, the low post defense improves. AB is on the island down there by herself because Melissa Thomas can't consistently get it done. You already see that because she's either getting beat or players blowing by her. She doesn't put a lot of body up. She's a medium-sized body and she plays finesse. Christy Wallace is people say he's saying that Christy Wallace is not as awful as she seems to have been made out to be. She is fucking awful. I'm sorry, she's awful. She can't stay in front of her man defensively. She gets kicked easily and leaves 3-point specialist. She cannot guard. She cannot guard. Same thing with Wheeler. But she certainly needs her minutes reduced and give it to Lexi Hall. I agree. And shout out to Ben Daniels' podcast. He made a great point in that emphasis last night when I was listening to him. He said, reduce her minutes, get that shit to Katie Lou or Lexi Hall. Lexi Hall deserves it. Lexi Hall is better on the ball at stopping straight line drives and walling up. Agreed. You know what I'm saying? She only had 2 fouls last night. But guess what? She made some adjustments. She slowed some of the things down. When she's on the floor, when her and Katie Lou is on the floor with Caitlin, you see a whole lot of the offense moves better. Because guess what? They set proper screens for her. They allow her to get in her open shots. Because guess what? When they went on that run in the third quarter to cut it to 9 going into the fourth quarter, guess who was on the floor? Lexi and Katie Lou. And guess what? When Katie Lou assisted for a 3-point play, a 3-pointer for her and received an assist, guess what? She got to put back on the bench. She only had 4 minutes in that stretch. But she was effective, but she should have been playing a little bit more. Assigning Christy Wallace to other teams' best offensive threat is saying it's on you. It's such a simplistic and narrow-minded approach, and it clearly hasn't been working. She just isn't capable or reliable enough to do that. If that's the scheme, Celeste Taylor should have been given that opportunity. Absolutely agree. Because the fact of the matter is, Christy Wallace is trash. Christy Wallace do not know how to stay in front of her man. She gets beat every time. And these constantly errors and mistakes by an incompetent coach is recipe of being fired. It's recipe to be fired, period. Because the fact of the matter is, you constantly show that you don't know how to work your roster. First of all, Christy Wallace should never be on the team. Erica Wheeler should not be on the team. Vivian Saxton should be on the team. And if she's on the team, why is she not getting a play? Because Christie Sides, again, don't know how to utilize her rotation. If you got a person that's bad in defense, especially Wallace and Wheeler, your minutes should be going to somebody like Lexi Hall, Damaris Dantes, Katie Lou, spot up minutes by Victoria Saxon, just to see what you got. You got 2 premier ball handlers in Clark and Mitchell. You don't need 2 more. And honestly, I think Mitchell should come off the bench. I don't think Mitchell should start. I think Lexi Hall should start in that spot. I think you could have Timmy start with Melissa Thomas and Boston. You have more rollout, or you could give Dantes that starting spot because she can play the 2, hybrid 2 as well, and she plays defense. She moves well. So me personally, if you have your starting unit is Dantes, Boston, Lexi, Melissa Smith, or Timmy Fanbelly, and Clark, you have a great starting 5. And allow somebody like Kelsey Mitchell to run the second unit as a point guard. You know what I'm saying? Or let her run with Wallace as a point guard. You know what I'm saying? In the second unit. And with Katie Lou. You know what I'm saying? And mix Vivian Saxon up in there to give some break. Or whoever you want to do. Melissa Thomas, whatever is make it better. All right. So the next thing he pointed out was rotation. And this shit here, shout out to Ben Daniels again for pointing this out. Because the rotation sucks. Because you should have kept the core rotation that you had in the last games that you even though you lost the game to the Sky, but you won 6 out of 10 during that stretch before playing the Sky. And then what you should have did, slowly implement Dantes and Timmy Fanbelly in. Now, shout out for Timmy Fanbelly because she had 8 points last night and she rebounded 7 times. So she did a great job coming back, but still, you should have subbed her in for Melissa Smith. You know what I'm saying? Slide her in a little bit. Boston goes out, put Katie Lou in or Dantes in. That's how you should have did it. Not just sitting there just changing shit and mixing, matching everything and throwing everything off. All right, so he said rotations. This has been frustrating to watch since day one. Agreed. I don't understand the substitution patterns. I get each game is different. I myself believe that sometimes matchup momentum situations can determine who gets more time. I don't necessarily believe in cookie cutter situation, no substitutions, but it does help players with their confidence and understanding the expectation. Katie Lou played 40 minutes last night against Seattle. Lexi Hall got inconsistent minutes. Clark got subbed out during momentum shift. It just, something's confusing. And every time Clark gets the momentum when she's scoring, Sides kill the momentum by subbing her out. But you sit here and say, well, I want her to score 15, take 15 shots a game. Okay, well then if that's the case, allow the hot streak to continue to build leads to get back. You could have got down from 9 to 2 points, but you didn't do that. As soon as Caitlin, you start getting hot, you take her out the game to bring somebody in. That's not proper substitution at all. So let me go on to the next thing. Timeout patterns, another inconsistent effort by Coach Sides because she don't know how to use her timeouts properly. She don't know how to challenge properly. She don't know how to slow down a run properly. When Jewel Lloyd started spanking Wallace last night and they was going on a run, you should have called a timeout then and said, hey, okay, Wallace, you need to sit on the bench. Lexi, you need to go in. You know what I'm saying? We need to slow this down. And then, like, the last column I just talked about, rotations. Okay, if you playing Seattle and they got all these big people in that start, if you look at their starting lineup last night, they was all big. Why would you start Mitchell? Why would you start Wallace? Well, hell, if you're gonna start Mitchell, why would you start Wallace? You could have put Lexi Hall in the starting lineup. That would have slowed a lot of momentum of Jewel Lloyd down in the beginning. It would have slowed it down completely in the beginning. Then you could have probably brought somebody like Katie Lou in or Dantes in, because guess what? You would have had then Caitlin wouldn't have had a bigger body on her to defend her. You got to understand the personnel of teams that you're dealing with instead of just throwing out a lineup out there because you feel like it could work. It's all about matchups. Match your opponent. You know what I'm saying? I don't even care if you said, Dantes, you start in this game because we need this in this matchup. Or if you start this person and she get cooked, then something that person say, hey, I need you in here because I need a bigger body to go against them. It makes freaking sense. Now, the person said timeout patterns. Say not going to let them bread on this too much, but I just did. But the coach needs to know when to kill momentum. Prime example last night, the Fever fought back and cut the deficit to 9 going into the fourth quarter with 4 minutes. During the 4 minutes, Indiana couldn't score and settle. And then Seattle went on a 9-0 run, extending it to 18. Coach Sides didn't call a timeout at any point. Eventually, she does, but the damage was done. Exactly. The damage was done. You can't let your team go 4 minutes without scoring. You can't let the other team take a 9-point lead and raise it to 18. You must take control to the situation and get a timeout, regroup, set something up and get a fresh look to commit on proper defensive stops. Then the last thing he wrote was the media. This could be its own separation post, but what it is discussed in-house, and the media needs to be two separate things. Multiple times this season, your star has taken the diplomatic, professional approach, and the coach has undermined that. Multiple times your coach has spoken one thing and her actions have totally contradict that. Man, he said the same shit I just said. Same thing. Because Christie Sides do not know what the F she's doing. Period. And like I told y'all, this video was going to be long because I had a lot of shit to get out of my system. I am planning on rewatching the game today in a little bit. And I'm also going to come back with another video of some stuff that I see to break down a little bit more. I might have some clips in it as well. Don't know. But he's saying the same thing that we all have been talking about on these channels. Is that Christie Sides do not know how to coach. When Caitlin Clark talks to the media and she gives a diplomatic, professional answer, your coach should come out and say, well, hey, well, Caitlin said this. She said, yeah, I'll back Caitlin up 100%. She absolutely right. Boom, you killed that right then and there. You don't give another outlet to the media to run with it and say, well, Christie Sides says this, Caitlin saying this. Then guess what? It's showing discord in the locker room because your coach, for time and time again, continues to throw your star player under the bus. She appraised Alyiah Boston, you know what I'm saying, for things that she has done, you know, player of the week, wearing her T-shirts. Erica Wheeler out here getting gold chains like she part of some gang or whatever. But then when Caitlin got an award for two-time award for the Honda Cup, you didn't even call her personally and say congratulations. You didn't even make an announcement with the team. You said it. You told her. You said that in a group text. How do you think Caitlin Clark should have to have confidence in an incompetent coach? She shouldn't have. And if I were Caitlin, I was like, you know what? F it. I'm gonna do my own thing. I know what I'm doing. Then you don't even congratulate her for being nominated for 3 ESPYs. You know, nothing. You don't want to show her any kind of confidence, her believe in her, because this is where I look at it. Christie Sides say one thing to the media. She tells Caitlin one thing, and then she goes behind Caitlin back to the other players. I know that shit for a fact. I see it. Because you can see it on these player faces when they're in the podium that they know their coach talks behind Caitlin's back. And Caitlin needs a coach that's going to have her back and is not going to be scared enough to put her other players in check. You either going to roll with the program or you can go to another team. Period. We here to win. We're not here to shuck and jive. Y'all getting paid too much money just to sit here and not be a part of a winning culture. Look at all these other teams. And I said this before. If Weatherspoon was Caitlin's coach, shit, Caitlin would have been averaging 20 points, over 20 points a game. She would have had probably about 10 assists a game. You know why? Because Weatherspoon allows Angel Reese to be herself. That's why Angel Reese could go out there and do the things that she do, because she knows she has the trust in her coach. Caitlin can't do that. And everybody sit there and say, well, Caitlin acts like she's scared. But the girl don't know which way the wind is blowing because her coach says one thing and do something different. It doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, they need better leadership in there. And it starts with the GM. She needs to be gone. The coach, she needs to be gone. The coaching staff need to be gone. Some players on that team needs to be gone. If Timmy Fanbelly wasn't going back to Turkey, I would love to see her come back with this team. But she probably made a decision, say, you know what, I can't play for this coach. Dante signed a 2-year deal. She just come back. She wants to play. I would love to see her back. But I damn sure don't want to see Wallace and Wheeler back. Hell, honestly, I don't want to see Mitchell back. I don't. But anyway, that's my rant for the day. I'm sorry, but it needs to be said. Continue to like, comment, subscribe. Until then, peace.